What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Purpose of Money, a channel where we talk about all things money, personal finance, life insurance, and real estate investing. Today, we are going to talk about auto pay and how it might be wrecking your finances. Stay tuned to learn how and what you need to do to protect yourself. Hey y'all, my name is Acquania Escarne. I'm the creator and founder of The Purpose of Money, a platform that teaches you how to build generational wealth $1 at a time. And today we're going to talk about auto pay because I recently read an article on the Wall Street Journal about how auto pay on credit cards specifically might be resulting in you paying even more on your credit card debt. And I wanted to kind of dive into this conversation and see what your thoughts are, and then also give you some of my tips on how you can avoid the downward spiral of getting into more credit card debt because you are only doing auto pay. So my first rule of thumb is I actually like auto pay, but I don't love it for credit cards as much as I love it for your bills. I think it's great to put your mortgage on auto pay, your car loan on auto pay, all the things that could potentially be repossessed in the event you don't make a payment, right? And nobody wants to lose their home or their car, which is very important to our livelihood. So I'm constantly telling my clients, those are great bills to auto pay. I love it when you have it on a set it forget it method on installment loans. Those are the ones that have a definitive amount of time you're going to pay it back. They have a fixed interest rate. You know what it's going to cost you every month, and all you have to do is pay it until the loan is paid in full. That's your student loans, your mortgage payment, and your car loan. Those are great debts that you want to put on auto pay because those are the ones we don't want to forget to pay ever, right? But here's the thing, I have one thing I never put on auto pay, and that's utility bills. And the reason I say that is because utility bills, when they spike or significantly change, that is a sign that something could be going on that you need to pay close attention to or you need to get fixed. For example, if you have a huge spike in your water bill, like I did recently, I had to check to see what has changed for the bill to be so high. It turns out it's the sprinklers going on a regular basis, watering the grass in the hot summer heat. Even though we try to water when the sun is low, we're still watering more frequently than we do in the winter. So that's why my water bill went up. But if I had my water bill on auto pay, that bill would have not only been paid automatically, I probably would not have noticed that it was extremely higher than normal. And you are less able to fix it once you've paid the bill because you have lost your ability to argue. You didn't know it wasn't yours. Payment is sort of taking responsibility for the bill itself. So if you ever want to dispute or discuss a utility bill with a utility company, you should be paying those manually every time they're due. That's my one thing I do not auto pay. But recently, credit cards have been pushing customers to auto pay credit cards as well, and they give you a couple of options. But this study that I read says that most people are choosing the minimum payment option to auto pay their minimum payments on their credit cards, which is resulting in them paying 8 to 20% less on the card than they normally would pay if they were manually paying the balances. So here's my advice to that. And then we can talk about the pros and cons. When you have auto pay on a credit card, you have a couple options. Option one is you auto pay the bill in full. Most people don't do this. Why? Because they may or may not have the money to pay their credit card in full each month, and they don't want that much money coming out of their account. But it is an option, and you're welcome to do that if that's going to help you remember to pay the bill and to pay it in full. But you also have this option where you can pay the minimum balance due. If you auto pay the minimum balance, it ensures that you always make a payment. You never have a late payment because you make a payment before it's due, and you're paying the minimum balance, which is required by your credit card. But paying the minimum balance doesn't mean you're paying enough to pay off your bill in full or even to avoid significant amounts of interest. But that's actually what a lot of people have been doing because it's a lower cost to them, it's a little less scary, and oh, by the way, it helps them avoid fees. But in the long run, it'll take those balances and stretch them out longer than they need to be. And of course, you're going to be paying interest every month you don't pay your card in full. And option three, which is the one I actually like the most, is the ability to auto pay a custom amount where you get to decide how much you want to put on your credit card bill each month. But the thing about this option is you need to know what your minimum payment is, and you need to make sure your custom amount is more than your minimum payment, especially if you are going to be paying off a balance over time because you don't have the resources to pay it in full. The reason I like this option is because let's say you do a balance transfer and the goal was to balance this credit card debt from another credit card so that you can have 0% APR for 12 months. And you already set up a plan that in order to pay off this balance before the interest kicks in, you need to make $300 payments each month for the next 12 months. This would be a great scenario to use the auto pay custom amount to set your custom amount to $300 a month and pay off that debt like clockwork. Don't have to think about it, just keep doing it, right? Just keep making those payments. The trick is you also have to not use that card, right? You can't add to that balance. You can't add to that card while you're in the repayment stages. Otherwise, the $300 a month is not going to all be going to the rollover balance. It'll actually also be going to the new purchases too, which a lot of cases, when you have a balance transfer, the balance transfer amount is 0% interest, but any new purchases are charged interest at your current card's interest rate. And they are the ones that'll be tacking on interest while you're trying to pay off debt. So it's always best if you're going to use this balance transfer strategy to get that 0% APR, then create a debt payoff plan that involves automatic monthly payments to that card and paying off that balance before the interest kicks back in. Because I don't want you to be in debt and not be able to get out of it, but you also have to utilize the strategy that you opened this card for, right? And that was the 0% interest. So making that custom amount helps you get that debt down fast. If you need help paying your credit card debt or building a budget that really helps you figure out the debt, your bills, expenses, saving for retirement, and more, let's chat, okay? I have a link in the description. We can do a free 15-minute consultation just to go over some things that you might be dealing with, and I'll give you my rapid responses on things that you can do to solve some of your own money problems. And if you want to do a really good deep dive, I offer a financial analysis where we will go into your numbers and help you come up with a plan, including a debt payoff plan and a comprehensive financial plan if you need it. So I'll drop all those links in the description, but let me know what you think in the comments. Are you using autopay? If so, which one? And make sure you're reading the fine print so you know how much is autopay really costing you. Until next time, keep building generational wealth. I'm your host, Acquania Escarne, and this is The Purpose of Money.